studies, and the women have never had sex, and they say it must have been dirty needles from the vaccines. No, it was what was in the vaccines. And again, HIV is just a cover name for a whole bunch of soft kill weapons they're using. Because I run into so many yuppies, and this is important. I run into so many trendies and people who think this is all a big joke, and they say, okay, Alex, there are too many people. Okay, I did go look it up where all these globalists said forcibly reduce population, turn off the food, turn off the water, bring in austerity. What do you want to do? Let humans destroy the earth? Meanwhile, the globalists are the ones GMOing and vandalizing the entire genetic code of the planet. Meanwhile, it's the globalists that are committing all of these huge crimes and destroying the earth. So they come to humanity and they say, you're the problem, and then get you to think that you're bad so that you'll give up on your own life force and give up on your own self-preservation instincts so they can have the planet and the entire future for themselves. But I want to tell all the yuppies, everybody else out there, the globalists aren't just stealing the money because they are greedy. They are stealing the resources, cutting off the industries, destroying the economies, because they want you under their control to then begin shutting off society. This has only just begun. And the people out there that say there are too many humans, even if that is true, we better come up with plans for clean energy, new science and technology that these people are blocking. Because the people that say, hey, there's too many, and I talk to so many professors, grassroots people too, that say, hey, there are too many people, you know, maybe the elite are doing the right thing. And my answer is, do you understand they're doing it to YouTube? Did you get a memo not to drink the fluoride? Did you get a memo not to eat the GMO? Did you get a memo about geoengineering? Because it's come out that Monsanto, and it's come out that all these big companies in their own cafeterias won't eat their own GMOs, ladies and gentlemen. This has all come out. The Chinese communists won't eat their own GMOs. The elites in Europe have clean vaccines for themselves. That's the big ultimate secret, is they're running a giant chemical bioweapon soft kill operation against humanity. And if you come away with anything, it's this: for God's sakes, warn everyone you know. People have worked so hard to bring you this information. And the reason the world is beginning to wake up is a scientific fact of physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And so as their evil and their global plan becomes evident, and as everything that patriots before us warned us about comes true, and as the liberty movement's credibility rises, and as the public researches these facts, the globalists are only going to intensify their operations, but that's only going to light a fire under everybody else's butt to take action against them. And if we all realize just how incredible this time is, we have a great chance of beating this. But it's the overwhelmingness of this program that is their greatest asset in the Bilderberg Group and inside the New World Order, because it is a dystopic science fiction novel. But you see them in all the movies programming us for the type of future they're building. 20 years ago, it's now reality. But if we wake up to it and have a seismic shift across the board and really make it the focus of our lives to get outside the box and make the focus of our lives to wake up others, they will fall. And in closing, I want to leave you with this. In closing, I want to say this to everybody that's out there. It is essential. Hey, if you don't yell back at provocateurs, you won't even be able to hear them. They just want to start a fight. Doesn't matter. Just a drunk guy. Hey, I think it's great. Anyways, getting back to what I'm saying. The most important thing is right here at the key point. All right, I will keep going here then. I tell you what, they told me I could go as long as I wanted. You just got another hour, bro. You just got another hour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we've got going on here is people trying to disrupt this because they're afraid of the truth, and this information is obviously extremely frightening to them. And that's understandable. But I need to get back to the key point here, which you distracted me from. The reason we have to face the truth, the reason we have to realize just how much peril we're in is because there is no future. The globalists think they're God. They're playing like they're God. They're operating and acting. Come on around here so you're not in all that noise, okay? You want to tape it, just come on around back here. You get my crew around here, Richard? Just everybody go on the back. Good. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, everything that the power structure is dedicated to doing is to teaching you that you don't have any power. Everything that they're dedicated to doing is teaching you that you don't have any hope. But the truth is, if you admit that this globalist program is going on, if you admit that the New World Order operation is taking place, it is the end of these people. And that's all we've got to do. It's become so insanely transparent now in this society, ladies and gentlemen, that these people are destroying our world. Look at what they did in 2008. They imploded the world economy by design. I interviewed members of Congress who were in the closed-door meetings when Henry Paulson, the former Federal Reserve minion, came before that committee and said there'll be martial law. You can pull these video clips up. Blood in the street if you don't give us unlimited money. And then they signed the people of the West. Your governments did the same thing under this unified agenda onto the derivatives that 90+% of it is not even the people's debt. And then 5 years later, they've convinced us that we've all got to have our taxes raised and so-called services cut because we have incurred this debt when the debt is really the globalists and they have signed us onto it. And that information is a fact. And all we have to do is expose it. Now again, there's more speakers coming up here in a little while, but I just want to point out to everyone that is here that what you have seen take place here with the Fringe Festival and the grassroots people and Charlie Skelton and his wife and Silky and all the people that made this possible to put up this makeshift set, to put up the equipment to do all of this was a labor of true grassroots love, the absolute opposite of what's going on in there. And I'm here to tell you that it is a beautiful sight to see David Icke happy to climb up. It was hard for him. He's got arthritis. Up on the back of here. I had to jump up there. It was hard for me. I mean, that's what it's all about. Here we are. There's no red carpets. There's none of that. And it feels good. It's great. I've been on red carpets. They're creepy. Red carpets are a thing from Greece that the gods walked on red carpets. The gods walked on the blood of their slaves. That's what these people are into. They are totally anti-human, insane narcissists. And it is so amazing to be able to come here and meet and talk to all of you today and to see the light of liberty and the light of humanity shining through your eyes. It humbles me at a level that I have just never experienced to be here confronting the globalists in this idyllic setting here in England with all of you and to see that spirit of humanity shining in your eyes. I pray that this spirit of freedom and awakening spread across the world and that the sleeping giant... It is absolutely essential. It is key that all of us that have been here today continue on and become leaders in your area. And I know I've said that several times, but you are the leaders, you are the answer, you are the resistance, you are the future. And the fact that humanity is beginning to awaken also indicates to us that deep down in our survival instinct, in our discernment, we know that the hour is short because they know that the hour is short and they are accelerating their dehumanization program because they crave power and submission more than anything else. And that's why I want you here today to pledge with me to never submit or surrender to the... what we are doing now, what is happening here now, is the same fight that our ancestors, no matter where you come from, no matter what your history is, all of our ancestors had to stand against tyrants like these. And this particular tyranny goes all the way back to the black nobility of Italy and that system of imperial control and the Byzantine Empire later that came and landed in the British Isles and used the great people of these isles as the engine for their tyrannical world government. And so when I say the answer to 1984 is 1776, I want everyone to know who lives in the UK, 1776 belongs to you more than it belongs to anybody. There was 1,000 years of war in these isles just to get the Magna Carta, and hundreds of years more war to defend basic liberties of free men and women. And Tony Blair, when he first got elected in 1996, said, "My main job is to abolish Magna Carta." That is the equivalent of saying, I want to abolish due process and freedom. I want to make the UK like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. And that's the most important point that I'm here to make to you today, is that they are afraid of people having basic rights. And the Parliament would not vote to launch a war against their fellow Englishmen and women and Germans and many others from all over the world that lived in the colonies, because they recognized it was a continuation of the fight that humans have been fighting forever. That's what it was, until the king came and said, how dare you, you will vote for this war. But 6 years later, the colonies had freedom, and they weren't perfect either. But that idea continues to grow on. And that's why I want to tell everybody in the UK, it was an Englishman, Eric Blair, aka George Orwell, who envisioned the nightmare future of 1984 because he worked in MI6. He worked as an imperial policeman before that. He was on the inside. Winston Smith was the character of himself in the future as he saw it. And so it was an Englishman that envisioned the tyranny of 1984, and it was Englishmen and other great people that envisioned 1776. Nothing against Germans, I'm part German. But King George III was a Hanoverian, German, and Transylvanian, and they don't like 1776 because it's a continuation of Magna Carta. Why did Tony Blair say, my first job is to get rid of Magna Carta? Because people by the hundreds of thousands died so that the public would have general rights. These have been paid for in blood. And if we let the New World Order win now, everything our ancestors fought for on every continent dies in vain. They call this New World Order the final revolution, the great tyranny. They intend to destroy humanity itself, break up men and women, break up the family, take over the crops, re-engineer the world, so it's impossible for free man and free woman to live in this world. They come to destroy your free will. They come to destroy your future. So we're not talking about an individual death here. We're not talking about one person dying. I'm not worried about being killed, and I know David Icke's not worried either. We're here, no security, up here, climbing up on the stage, because we're just like you. With great... for our children and their children. I close with this. My great dream is that your children and my children and their great-great-grandchildren and the great-great-grandchildren of those children, because humanity has not even begun to flower, will be living together in peace and doing things that we can't even imagine today, not just on this planet, but throughout the stars. And that the globalists not be able to take control of humanity and turn it into some robotic plaything for themselves so they can play God. I am here to tell the New World Order, you are not God. If you had any idea of the mind of God, you would not be committing the blasphemy against God's creation that you've engaged in. gentlemen like Jim Tucker and those before him, and William Wallace, and so many others. We stand here in defiance, in many cases, of the very same bloodlines that have enslaved us for thousands of years. And we pledge before our ancestors to never surrender. The answer to 1984 is 1776. 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 I salute you all. God bless you all. Every year here. Let's bring Charlie Skilled up for 5 minutes if he's around to talk about another Fringe Fest. I think everybody should do this every year. I think we should follow the Bilderbergs wherever they go and how they go.
We should go to the hotel.
We will never back off. Bilderberg is forward!
Say